Welcome to Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free, a podcast where we tackle the literal and figurative clutter standing between you and your healthiest and happiest life. I'm Melanie, your host, coach, and guide on this journey to help you design a life that you love. Whether it's clearing out your kitchen cabinets, untangling your digital files, or letting go of the mental blocks that hold you back, we're here to make space for what truly matters. Let's lighten up together, starting now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free. I'm Melanie, and today we're diving into a topic that's been on my mind and is probably on your mind, even if you don't already realize it. And that is just how many thoughts we have every single day and what happens when those thoughts clutter up our brains. This isn't just about trivia. This is about understanding how your mind works, why it sometimes feels impossible to make even simple decisions, and what you can do to break free from perfectionism, paralysis, and mental overload. So first, let's talk about how many thoughts we actually have every day. We're going to start with the numbers. On average, humans have about 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts every single day. That's one almost every second we're awake. And no wonder it feels like our brains just never shut off. And here's the kicker. 80% of those thoughts are negative, and about 95% are repetitive. So think about that. Most of what we think today, we already thought yesterday. And most of it isn't even kind. It's like living with an old, awful roommate in your head who won't stop talking. And most of what they're talking about is critical, nagging, or full of worry. So let's talk about mental clutter and its effects. All this mental chatter actually is just like the clutter in your home. Clutter in your home makes it hard to find your keys, your glasses, your phone. Mental clutter makes it hard to find true clarity. It leads to decision fatigue. Even simple choices can feel overwhelming when your brain is already juggling 100 others. It creates analysis paralysis. You think so much, you talk yourself right out of action. And it feeds perfectionism. And if you remember from last week's episode, striving for perfection can leave us completely paralyzed instead of moving forward. So here are some examples of the kinds of thoughts that run through our minds on any given day. Did I send that email yet? What am I going to make for dinner? Do I need to stop at the store? Do I have the ingredients I need? Did I take the thing out of the freezer to defrost? I really should start exercising again. But I'm so tired. What if I start tomorrow or Monday or something like that? Why did I say that thing in the meeting? They probably think I sounded like a complete and utter idiot. I need to schedule that dentist appointment and the car inspection. And when was the last time I cleaned the fridge? It just keeps rolling. Here's more. I should really be more organized. Why can't I keep it together like everybody else? How is it possible that my closets are overflowing and there's nothing to wear? Each one of these thoughts forces a micro decision. Check the email or don't. Shop or don't. Work out or don't. Replay the meeting or let it go. None of them are huge, but they pile up. And it's like being pelted with ping pong balls all day long. And it is exhausting. So let's talk about positive versus negative thought, or positive versus negative thought loops. And we'll talk about food because, food. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Not all thoughts are created equally. Some move us forward, others keep us stuck. And a negative thought loop kind of sounds like this. I shouldn't eat that. It's bad for me. Why can't I ever stick to a plan? I'll just blow it anyway. So what's the point? These don't solve anything. They just layer on guilt and shame and frustration, and guilt and shame and frustration, and some more guilt, shame, and frustration. A positive thought loop isn't fake cheerleading. It is simply a reframe that opens up choice. What do I need right now to feel nourished? I'm not perfect, but I can make one better choice in this moment. Good enough is good enough. This meal doesn't have to be gourmet. So let's make this real with a story so you can really picture what this looks like. It's 5:30 p.m. You've been on calls all day. You open the fridge and think, I don't have anything prepped. I should have gone shopping. Why am I so bad at planning? That's the negative loop. Now you're spiraling, and before you know it, you're grabbing takeout or you're skipping dinner and just snacking throughout the night. What if you simply paused and asked, what is the simplest thing I can throw together right now? Maybe it's scrambled eggs, maybe it's a sandwich, maybe it's actually soup from a can. Decision made, done, mental clutter cleared. Do you see the difference? The negative loops keep you circling, and the positive loops cut the noise, the noise of that awful roommate, and they help you move forward. So let's talk about the ripple effect of that negative thinking. When 80% of your daily thoughts are negative, it's not just a bad mood, it creates ripple effects. It chips away at your confidence. You see problems instead of possibilities. It lowers your self-worth. You're constantly measuring yourself against impossible standards. It wrecks your productivity. And because when you're stuck fighting the voice in your head, you're not moving forward in real life. This is why so many of us feel like we're running in place, busy all day, but not actually getting shit done. Okay, so we're not just going to talk about all the awful stuff. Let's actually talk about tips to reducing mental clutter and decision fatigue. How do we quiet that noise and reclaim our brain space? So here are the practical strategies. Good enough is good enough. Stop aiming to be perfect. Done gets you moving forward. Perfect keeps you stuck. Simplify meals, clothing, routines. Save your brain power for decisions that really matter. Time box your decisions. Give yourself 10 minutes. At the end, make the call, move on. Also, declutter your inputs. Fewer apps, fewer notifications, fewer voices in your head. Less noise equals more clarity. You can also anchor to one priority. Every morning, ask yourself, if I only get one thing done today, what would make me feel successful? Do that. Write it down. Guess what? Your brain is not a storage unit. And if it is a very small one. Capture thoughts on paper or in a journal or a note section on your phone and give yourself breathing room. These may sound ridiculously simple, but they work. And if you know me, you know I love ridiculously simple goals. Okay, so let's bring it back to clutter because one of my other favorite things is to talk about clutter. Here's the connection. Clutter is clutter. Whether it's in your closet or in your mind, every object you keep but don't use is a decision you have not yet made. Every time you walk past it, your brain spends a tiny burst of energy thinking about it. Mental clutter works in the same way. Every unmade decision, every repetitive worry, every I should but I don't thought, it's all clutter weighing you down. The good news is, just like we can declutter a closet, we can declutter our minds. So here's the question. I want you to sit with this. What could you accomplish if you freed up just 10% of the space in your mind? This is exactly what we'll be tackling in my fall reset workshop. It's about clearing both the physical and mental clutter so you can walk into the holidays with space to breathe and the energy to actually enjoy the season. And if you know that deep down, one workshop won't be enough, I also offer private coaching. That's where we take your specific clutter, the thoughts, the habits, the perfectionist patterns, and dismantle them together. So if you're ready to stop spinning and start moving, sign up for the Fall Reset Workshop or book a private session with me. The links are in the show notes. And remember, clutter, whether it's in your home or in your head, is just a pile of unmade decisions. The sooner you make them, the lighter you will feel. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free. I hope you found a spark of inspiration to help declutter not just your space, but your mind and life as well. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little lightness in their life. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Small steps lead to big changes, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. For more tips, resources, and ways to connect, check out my website, follow me on social media, and don't forget to check out the Design Your Healthy Life Strategy program. take your transformation even further. Until next time, keep letting go of what no longer serves you and making room for what truly lights you up.